Welcome back to another vlog review. Hey, do you remember a simpler time? When life wasn't such a big hustle and bustle. Things were simpler back then. The US economy was strong, people took pride in their values, and the president could be held hostage.
You are the Duke of New York, you're a number one.
Get off my plane.
Let's take a trip back to those days with Olympus Has Fallen. If you liked the acting of Under Siege, the plot of Under Siege 2, Dark Territory, and the action of Die Hard 2, Die Harder, then you'll like this movie. Now you might be saying, come on, this is clearly a standard action flick. It's got guns, it's got explosions, why even bother reviewing it? Well, to that I say, stop trying to tell me how to do my job. Also, it was either review this or watch some flick about half-naked Neanderthal Disney characters going on some bizarre trip. Actually, I was referring to the Croods, but fair point. Olympus Has Fallen starts off with Secret Service agent Mike Banning, played by Gerard Butler, and President Asher, played by Aaron Eckhart, in a friendly boxing match. This is to show that they are super best friends. In fact, everybody likes Banning, including the president's wife and son. That is, until a car crash on an icy road kills the First Lady and nearly kills the president himself. Jeez, good thing President Asher didn't get caught in an explosion at the same time. I think President Two-Face would have skewed the plot a little bit. With failing to save the president's wife hanging over his head, Banning is now working at a desk job. That is until the White House is attacked by North Korean terrorists pretending to be South Korean diplomats. The terrorists hold the president and his staff hostage and lock down the area. With all the other Secret Service agents dead, Banning will have to prove that he's a bad enough dude to save the president and foil the plans of the mastermind behind it all, the infamous Kang, played by Rick Yoon. Oddly enough, this is the second time Yoon has played an evil North Korean. The first was in Die Another Day. Talk about your typecasting. So with the president and vice president at this madman's mercy, it's up to Speaker of the House, Trumbull, as played by Morgan Freeman, to temporarily step in as president. Hey, put this movie next to Deep Impact and he's got a good shot at his second term as a fictional president. This film is a hodgepodge of proven action movie formulas, but I think it reminded me most of the string of generic Steven Seagal cash-ins that popped up in the 90s, interrupting the gunfights with improbable stealth takedowns and hand-to-hand combat, usually with knives. Which isn't to say that that's a bad thing, but it kind of takes you out of the movie when you realize Banning has taken down about 20 guys in a little less than an hour. Although the good thing about rehashing old action movies is that they throw in some of my favorite cliche dialogue. Can we trust him? He's the best man we've got. I'm giving you a direct order to stand down. Court-martial me later. I love the classics. But one scene that really caught my attention seemed to be straight out of the first Die Hard. I mean literally. The scene is a copy of the first time John McClane meets Hans Gruber face to face. The guy even starts smoking in the middle of it. Hey, you got your Die Hard in my Steven Seagal movie. You got your Steven Seagal movie in my Die Hard movie. Knife fight. Speaking of action movie tropes, the president does have a son that's trapped in the White House with him. So, of course, the bad guys want to use him to force the commander-in-chief's full cooperation. But, surprisingly enough, Banning finds the kid first and they actually manage to get him out of the White House pretty quickly. They avoided the whole tug-of-war scenario between the hero and the villain completely. Score a point for Olympus Has Fallen, I guess. But, Banning does have a wife nearby that the bad guys find out about, which means she's about to be kidnapped and held hostage, right? Nope! They dodged the loved ones in distress cliché as well. Another point to Olympus Has Fallen. Maybe this movie is more original than I thought it was. Oh, wait. Kang also has a doomsday device on a ticking clock. Sort of like... And you were doing so well. Honestly, what really killed it for me early on is when the movie flat out said why the premise couldn't work. When the White House is first under attack and the president is being ushered into the bunker room, he insists on bringing the Korean diplomats with him, even though the Secret Service say that's not protocol. So why is the president doing it? Nobody wanted to bring up the fact that the attack happened mere minutes after the Koreans arrived? What would have been the plan if the president was like, nah, you guys wait out here? Oh, crap. Since the movie is effectively showing a brutally long terrorist attack complete with civilian casualties, Olympus Has Fallen throws in plenty of scenes with overemphasized faux patriotism. There are several moments where Gerard Butler's character brings swift, gruesome justice to the invading Korean forces, as well as slow panning shots of the American flag. And then offsetting it all with a heartfelt call to stay true to our ideals despite our tragedies. I'm sure there was a deeper message they were trying to convey here, but all I could hear was America, fuck yeah! Overall, Olympus Has Fallen doesn't bring anything new to the genre. If you're a fan of the generic one-man army action flick, then you might like this movie. Otherwise, I'd say give it a pass. That's it for me for now. Until next time, I'm Darren with Moving to Blender.